Hi, I'm Mark Toole with 8020service.com, and today's customer service video of the day comes from Quora, and the question is, why is it easier to remember a bad customer service moment than a good one? Okay, so there are a few reasons for this. It's not probably what you're thinking, although maybe to some extent. The first answer is kind of obvious that a bad customer service experience, if it's really, really bad, if it's horribly bad, if it's offensively bad, it's going to be unique in some way. It's going to be unique and it's going to trigger emotions in you. You're going to think, oh, what the hell is this guy? I've never heard of this before. And you're going to feel some emotion, anger, frustration, whatever, as a result of how bad this customer service is. It'll stick in your memory. It'll be an interesting story because it's unique, and you'll probably tell it to your friends and repeat it a bit, and it'll get stuck in your memory that way. But I'm going to say that most of your bad customer service experiences that you've had, you don't remember. You don't think anything of them. You might not even realize that you're having a bad customer service experience. Picture this for a moment. You have a problem with your cell phone company or your internet at home, and you got to call the phone company, you got to call the cable company. What's your first thought? Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be easy. This is going to be super fast and nice, and there'll be no bullshit of any kind, and this will be fixed before you know it. That's not your thought. Your thought is, oh, what bullshitty customer service hell am I going to go through? That's your expectation. And you're going to call, and it's going to ring half a time and beep loudly in your ear, and you'll have to deal with silly recordings and say things, representative, representative, into a phone, and it won't understand you. It'll play a recording of someone typing because it thinks when you're talking to a machine, so you are dumb enough to think it's a guy. Eventually you'll get an NPC reading off a script. He'll go through his scripted bullshit that has nothing to do with helping you. Eventually, maybe, if you're lucky, he'll transfer you to someone else, someone who's allowed to think, and they might solve the simple problem that you're calling about, something that should have been not a problem at all to begin with, but they made you call about it anyways. So, that happens to you almost every time you deal with any kind of customer service interaction of any kind. You assume that's normal. You assume that's what you expect, so it doesn't stand out to you as a bad customer service moment, but it's an entire system of bad customer service moments. Just because every moment there is bad, you might remember the horrifically bad, but you don't think anything of the averagely bad. Now, you also probably don't think anything about the good customer service. But before we get to that, let's talk about the other one you won't remember, average, where it's a little better than that call center nonsense experience. I don't even know if this really exists very much, but you send an email or you get in a live chat and you're like, hey, I've got a question about this, I've got a problem with this, and someone responds and fixes it for you or gives you the answer, and you say, great, that was nice, thanks. Now, this might stand out to you as great customer service if you're so used to the conventional approach, the terrible, broken, horrible approach, the one we just talked about a minute ago here. If that's what you're used to, if that's what you're expecting, someone doing the bare minimum and doing things right is going to stand out as good customer service to you. But if you're not as jaded, not as cynical about this, it might not stand out at all. You might just think, okay, I need to talk to customer service, and they fixed it, good. But what about great service? What about the best possible service you could think of? And it's not what you're thinking. It's not anything that involves you calling anybody, sending an email, getting on a live chat, doing anything like that at all. It involves a problem that you might have had that somebody working intelligently at a company anticipated and prevented, so you never had the problem. You never had to contact customer service. You have no opinion about this company's customer service skills because you think never had to deal with any customer service. In reality, you're dealing with someone who did things intelligently, prevented you from ever having the problem to begin with, from ever having to contact customer service. That's what I consider to be great service, the service that never happens because it never has to happen, and that, as well, is invisible. You're not going to see that, you're not going to remember that. You're going to remember the thing that's unique in some way, which is going to be that horrible experience. Maybe there's a rare occasion where it would happen in a positive way. I can think of one where I had a phone where the charging port was broken, and they said they would send me a refurbished phone to replace it for free, whatever that means. and the package shows up and it's a brand new phone. So that was a nice surprise, but that's the only example I can think of good customer service that's memorable. I've got some bad ones too, as we all do, but most of it's just that generically acceptably decent or tolerably bad range that you don't remember. You remember the guy that's horrible, the guy that tells you to fuck his mother and throws the phone down and runs out of the business and quits his job. You remember that guy, and you remember the one who gives you a free phone for free, brand new, the one you're watching this recording for, that I'm making this recording on. You remember those things. You don't remember you don't even know about, you don't even realize the times when you could have had to deal with all this customer service stuff. It could have been acceptably good, could have been acceptably bad, could have been terrible. Slight chance it could have been great, but it's even better because it never happened at all. And you don't realize that, you don't think about that, because you don't consider that customer service. But it is. And got a truck delivering food. Okay, that's weird. I didn't order any food. Okay. Alright, background noise is done. So really that's my answer to that. You remember things that are unique and that are emotionally charged, positive or negative, but in customer service it's more often going to be negative because either they meet the expectations of what you're calling or emailing about, or they don't, or they drastically exceed them, rarely, or they drastically screw something up horribly, little more common than we'd like. That's what you remember. You don't remember the times that you don't even know about the times when you never had to deal with it, and you don't remember the times when you had to deal with it but it was handled proficiently. So that's my answer here. The good news is if you're running a business, you don't want your customers talking about how good your customer service is. You don't want them knowing about your customer service. You don't want them thinking about your customer service. This is, of course, based on online businesses. What most people watching this are probably running. If you're running a lemonade stand or something, maybe it's different. But you don't want them to have to deal with customer service. You don't want them to have to think about customer service. You want all the problems that they would be coming to customer service about to never happen at all. That's the intelligent way to do things. That's what I help businesses with. That's why I do these videos. That's why I write about this stuff on Quora and on the website 8020service.com. That's also why I have the 8020 Service Guide for people who are serious about this stuff, who want to see everything I do, everything I've helped businesses and clients with in the past. It's all there. You can find that on the website 8020service.com. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this video up here. And like I've said before, I do one of these every weekday on a customer service question from Quora. I also post them on YouTube, so if you have a question, ask me on Quora, ask me on YouTube. I may use it in a future video. I also write regularly on business and customer service in response to questions on Quora, and again on the website, 8020service.com. Check all that out. Get on the email list. I send out daily emails about this stuff as well. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this video up here, and I'll be back on Monday with another video.